found what we're looking for, and it's a very special cat because this is the first time that we get to introduce you all to Tavangumi. This is a new male leopard that we see here. I've seen him before. It's not my first time to see him. The guys told me it's Tavangumi. I haven't seen nicely, but it looks like his face already from just behind that bush. He's a leopard that comes from Singita, so not too far away, and he's a cat that has just started to move into this area, very similar age to Tamba and Hosanna. The good news is that he's scent marking and kind of making his way through this section, so it almost looks like he's wanting to come in and start taking over. Now, he is actually related in some ways. You'll see he's very relaxed. He'll go right up past the vehicles. He's grown up around cars. He's probably one of the more relaxed cats that we'll get in this area. Just wait for him to come past the car there. Hopefully he'll make an appearance on the other side now. But he is... I've lost my train of thought now. So he is related to the cats in this area. So he's Karula's sister, which is Tandi's mother. She had a daughter who had a son who is the father of this guy. So he carries the same genetic as the Juma lineage and is a cat that hopefully we're going to see a lot more of. We'll try and get around and get view of him. Such a pretty cat. He's got beautiful, beautiful eyes, does Tavangumi. So I'm hoping that he's going to become a more permanent fixture of Juma. He's just crossed into Juma now from Sydney's Dam area, where he's been scent marking all morning. Ruth, you say, yay, great to meet a new face. Always nice to see a new leopard in the area, particularly when we know it's a relaxed leopard and we have a really nice history of the cat. That always makes things that much better. Obviously Mulawati and this other unknown male that was seen recently, it's great to see those kind of leopards coming through, and there's a kind of mystery to them. But it's always nice when you see a cat that comes in and you know that it's going to be a viewable leopard, a trackable leopard. This cat has seen many, many, many people on foot, has been tracked throughout its life, and so it's not shy of having people following it on tracks. It's not going to run away. Also, he's starting to get used to kind of this area. There we go. He's got such a look of the whole Scotia lineage. So Scotia is his mother. They have the same look. If you try and kind of research her a little bit, those of you that are into this kind of stuff, and you go and look at Scotia and then look at her current cub at the moment, and then put him side by side with the current cub, and then the dad in Yoleti and the mom Scotia, you can see where the look comes from. They've got a very distinctive look about them. He's on a serious mission though this morning, isn't he? I think this is the alarm calls we had last night. Remember when we were sitting with the Avoca male, I said we heard Impala's alarm calling, and it was from this area roughly that those alarm calls came from. Nice. Hello, boy. So he could carve himself out a little section, but like I said, it depends on what Hosanna does to Tortoise Pan, what Flat Rock from the south does, what Mulawati does. Those will all kind of dictate whether or not he can carve out this little area for himself. But at the moment, there is a little gap here that he can take, and it would be this area that he's walked this morning. So that's Sydney's Dam, coming down towards sort of the northwestern corner of Juma, and then into Simambili. That would be all an area where he would be able to potentially carve out a territory. And it's going to be interesting to see if he does. I mean, I hope he does. If you look at that, that is as beautiful a male leopard as you could ever wish to see. I mean, he is picture perfect at the moment. He's still at that phase where he hasn't fought yet. He hasn't really had too much of a tough time. So his nose is absolutely perfect. It's still got a little bit of pink on it. And then these beautiful, beautiful eyes. As I was saying before we even kind of got to spend a little bit of time with him, I was telling you guys that his eyes are amazing. Now, I must just point out before we kind of carry on that earlier I said that Scotia is his mother. Now, this might confuse a lot of people because Scotia, there's two Scotias. There's the original Scotia, which is the one down at Sabi, Lion Sands, Kirkman's. And then there's the secondary Scotia, which is the one that's at Singita. So this is the Singita Scotia. It's not the southern Scotia. I don't know why they called it a Scotia when there was already a Scotia, but they did, and so it can be a little confusing. The crazy part about it, though, is that Tavangumi, what it means is klipspring. Well, it's like home of the klipspringer is Tavangumi, and that's a little rocky outcrop just on the eastern side of Boulders Lodge on the Sand River. Now, that little section there is where he was born and grew up, and so he became known as Tavangumi male. There was an old female called Tavangumi back in the day, but she's long since passed, and so he's now Tavangumi male. But interestingly enough, Southern Scotia has had cubs, and I think they've called him Ngumi, if I'm not mistaken. James Richard, you'll have to check this for me and let me know. But I think he's called Ngumi, which is klipspringer. So Scotia has Tavangumi, which is kind of home of the klipspringer, and other Scotia has Ngumi, which is southern kind of, which is just klipspring itself. Now, there is a car around, so I just want to let guys know that we are here because I haven't radioed anyone. Any station in the west, copy?
Okay.
Yeah, I've got Tavangumi north of One-Eyed Pan. I can hear a vehicle, but just come around One-Eyed Pan to where those little mud wallows are. From those mud wallows, just follow the most prominent hippo path north, and you'll get me here.
Okay, sorry, what was the name of it? It's me, can hear?
Tavangumi male leopard.
Oh, Lord. Okay, cool. I'm going to come there rather. The Talamatis are Metro and open as well.
All right, copy. You're welcome to make your way. It's just gone static.